On today's episode, Jerry shares what God had in mind when he gave Jerry his mission and how we can all live out God's calling for our own lives if we're open to what God is asking of us. Here now is Jerry Martin. I hope you enjoy the episode.
The first time God spoke to me, I didn't believe he existed. I didn't believe in God or a higher power of any kind. But God continued to speak to me and even responded to my questions. One day, out of the blue, God said, "I want you to tell my story." Huh? What could that mean? I want you to tell my story. Well, I responded immediately. Hasn't your story already been told? I was thinking of the Bible. God answered that it was time for it to be told again, and not in the same way. I have given parts of the story to different peoples at different times. The whole now needs to be told. Well, how on earth was I supposed to do that? I was told to read the ancient scriptures of the world's religions and to pray about what I read, asking in effect, God, what were you up to with these people? I tracked sacred text all the way back to the ancient Egyptians and the ancient Chinese. It turns out that the religions don't all say the same thing because God didn't tell them the same thing. For example, I told the ancient people of Israel to act in history and to keep my covenant and to abide by a set of religious and moral rules. That was task enough for them. I told the ancient people of India to develop the inner life and to get in touch with the transcendental Atman, the self beyond the self. Both were and remain valid tasks. And so it was with the other revelations. This means that we need to be open to the divine presence in all traditions, not just our own. In our global culture, we do this already to some extent. We all learn from Gandhi and Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama. We freely quote Confucius, Tao Te Ching, the Persian poet Rumi. So God has been working through all religions and cultures. There is nowhere God is absent. In fact, I was guided to start a project called Theology Without Walls, a cooperative effort to understand the divine in light of the diversity of revelations and enlightenments and epiphanies and illuminations. But I discovered something else as well. I discovered that God is working not just through religions and cultures, but through each of us. Through each of us. We are part of God's story. Our stories are like individual chapters in God's story. In my new book, Radically Personal, God and Ourselves in the New Axial Age, I talk about connecting our own lives with the life of the divine. For one person, that point of contact may well be the religion they grew up in. For another, it may require participation in a religion halfway around the globe. For some, it might not involve anything explicitly religious at all, but may involve participation in nature or music or service to others. So what you need to do is still your mind. Get distractions out of the way. Relax preconceptions. Relax the assumptions you carry with you and you take for granted. Relax those. to be open to something new and different. And try to sense where your most intimate access to the divine is. Where can you be the best partner to God? And what today and tomorrow does God want of you? Engage in answering those questions, and your life will take on a new shape and a new meaning. It may be obscure, like following a mental dowser stick, or it may be utterly clear, like a stroke of divine lightning. You just have to pay attention and take seriously whatever comes to you, even if it has just a hint of the divine. It may be God getting through to you in God in your own way. This is the human challenge and adventure. And it is God's challenge and adventure as well. We are all in this together.
Thank you for listening to God and Autobiography, the podcast. Subscribe for free today wherever you listen to your podcasts and hear a new episode every week. You can hear the complete dramatic adaptation of God and Autobiography as Told to a Philosopher by Jerry L. Martin by beginning with episode 1 of our podcast and listening through its conclusion with episode 44. You can read the original true story in the book from which this podcast is adapted, God and Autobiography as Told to a Philosopher, available now at Amazon.com and always at godandautobiography.com. Pick up your own copy today. If you have any questions about this or any other episode, please email us at questions@godandautobiography.com and experience the world from God's perspective, as it was told to a philosopher. This is Scott Langdon. I'll see you next time.